So welcome once again. My name is Ephraim the Reformist, and I'll be your host this evening for today's fireside chat session with Surveyor Olukayode Ajilaye. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Surveyor Ajilaye Olukayode Oladimeji holds a bachelor's degree in surveying and geoinformatics and an MSc in surveying and geoinformatics. He has furthered his education with an advanced diploma in software engineering from Aptech, an MBA from Nexford University, specializing in artificial intelligence and the future of automation, and an MSc in digital transformation from Nexford University. With approximately 20 years of experience in the upstream oil and gas sector, Oladimeji is a seasoned business development strategist. He's also a registered surveyor in Nigeria with a strong academic background and practical expertise in geographic information systems. In addition to his formal education, Oladimeji has completed several professional trainings, including health and safety engineering and project management professional training. He has also received specialized training in Linux and Oracle from NIIT in Nigeria and advanced supply chain management from the London School of Business and Finance. Oladimeji has diverse professional background. He worked at the Pan Atlantic University, seconded to the Enterprise Development Center, where he served as the HP Micro Enterprise Acceleration Program Manager and Information Technology Support Staff. During his tenure at the ETC, he localized the SME toolkit for Nigerian use, making it user-friendly for local entrepreneurs, and facilitated HP MAP programs for both MBA students and executive education students. He then joined Cliffview Consulting Limited, a company providing essential direction to oil and gas companies in Nigeria. Starting as a technical assistant and business development officer to the chairman, Oladimeji advanced to the role of business development manager and strategist. In this capacity, he engages with oil and gas industry contractors and government regulatory agencies, ensuring compliance and fostering strategic business development. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause or a big smile on your face, let's welcome Surveyor Olukayode Ajile. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Over to you.
That you really need the MBA. You really need the MBA or whatever. But at the end of the day, I found out that even while teaching, I was actually learning a lot of things from different people, different authorities in life and everything. So I gained a lot of experience from Lagos Business School, actually, where I did localize the toolkit for Nigerian SMEs. Also, I went for different courses and teaching of teachers to help them know how to use the SME toolkit here in Nigeria, because one of the greatest problems that I noticed from while I was in Lagos Business School was the fact that people buy technology before thinking of their business. I don't know whether I understand what I mean, but it might sound funny. But there are some things that an ordinary Excel sheet will do for you, but many people will go and buy Sage and not even know how to use the Sage. They continue to pay huge amounts of money, and before you know what's happening, all their profits and everything they have is all going into their payment for Sage from the South Africans. So my call was to tell small businesses at that point in time that, you need to understand the fact that understand your business and your business process first. This was as far back as 2007, 2008. But right now we're talking about the Internet of Things, which I'm sure many people that did MSc in digital transformation would have come across somehow. If you did digital transformation, you would have done a lot in the Internet of Things to help you understand your business process and also know that technology is supposed to aid you and not to cripple you. So, but many people always have the mindset that I need to acquire this technology. I have a very beautiful computer. I have a this, I have a that, At a point in time in my life, I was, running after technology. But what made me stop was this. I had to sit back and relax and say, come, for crying out loud, what's happening to you? I had this very lovely lovely MacBook, as in the first set of MacBooks I had them, very lovely ones. I had an iPad 1. I upgraded to iPad 2. Then my iPad 2 fell down. I had to upgrade to my iPad 3, but I still need a month after. If I had added £100 to it, I would have gotten an iPad 3. I spent about £200, trying to fix my iPad 2. So that really pissed me off. I won't lie to you. And that was when I stopped chasing technology. So to cut the long story short, because we've really wasted so much time here. I'm here to tell you that, for crying out loud, you need to know that you need to understand what is really happening as we speak right now in everything we are doing. I hope you can all see the screen which I've shared with you.
Yes.
The future of work in the age of automation. You need to understand that in anything you're doing right now, you need to constantly make yourself relevant. So that's why I said the future of work in the age of automation is a topic of great interest and importance. And as technology continues to evolve rapidly, forget about it. You cannot meet up with technology. How many days ago did we have ChatGPT? But now there's ChatGPT 4.0 and there's 4.5 in the making. ChatGPT 3.5 is already there, which many people are using free of charge. But there's 4.5, which you have to pay to access some 1 or 2 features. So everything you are doing, in trying to keep yourself abreast with what is happening, you must also understand that, for crying out loud, you can never, ever be ahead of technology. It will always evolve and be ahead of you. Understand that. So I said, here are some key points that you need to understand in this age of automation. You need to understand that there's something called job transformation. My late dad, he died about in February 2nd, 2021. My father was a chief accountant in the UAC. I don't know those that know about UAC. And Shonekon was the chairman. My father was his right-hand man. He loved him so much, I said, because my father was always looking for difference of 2 kobo. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. But when you understand looking for difference of 2 kobo, my mom will call my dad in those days and say, why can't one of you just add 2 kobo to this and let's go home? My mom will take a taxi, vex, go home, come home to meet us, the kids, and my dad is still there till midnight looking for difference of 2 kobo. If you look at those days when you used to go to the bank like Union Bank, First Bank, UBA, they'll give you tally number. At a point in time, you could only do what? You could only cash a check at your branch. But things continue to evolve. And you should understand that as things are evolving, your skill set also needs to focus on your digital literacy so that at every point in time, you are always relevant. A few years ago, we had to sack my accountant, my accountant in the office, though this accountant is, he has ICANN, but he is too pen and paper. So when we decided to go to automate in the office, he couldn't meet up. He was always missing deadlines, delays, and the rest of it. The board had said, you had to allow him go and pay him off it. And we allowed him go. He was now, what he should have, because I brought in some youth corpers then who are junior people, but they were as in very, very highly technical people, digitized and everything. He should have learned, but he was bossing them around, not allowing those ones to teach him. And that's what happens most of the time whenever we are doing what we are doing. So your skill set needs to be constantly upgraded. You need to reskill and upskill. Forget about what you've known before. You learn and always relearn. You unlearn rather, then you learn and relearn so that you can continually remain relevant in this age and time. If not, I'm sorry to say, in the next 5 years, there are so many jobs that are going to be gone. Don't be deceived. So many jobs are going to be gone. About just recently, I was in Toronto. I'm trying to look for a school for my son. And I found out that most of the courses that they were talking about, you'll be surprised that Nigeria are still talking about biz admin. Banking and finance. Over there, banking and finance is done by maybe secondary school people There are people that attend to you in the banking or secondary school people, and people that have maybe high school diploma and the rest of them. But banking and finance is still because my elder sister came to join us because her son is there, and you find out that, guess what the boy said he wanted to read? AI, robotics. Robotics. That's what the boy is reading now. He's in University of Toronto. So I'm trying to get my son in. And I called my son, what do you really want to do? He said, Daddy, I want to do computer science. Shut up, there's nothing like computer science in that. Listen, you're wasting your time doing computer science here in Nigeria. He said, Daddy, what do you mean by that? I said, I need to be frank with you. You are my son. And if I'm not telling you the truth, then I'm just fooling you. Because the truth of the matter is that there's nothing like computer science again. While I was Unilag in the 90s, maybe until 2000, you won't believe it that they were still teaching us Fortran. Fortran was a computer language that was developed in 1978. For those that went to Unilag around that point in time, you know that we had something called a computer center. Very big place that they'll give you paper that you clock in, then you now start running codes and the rest of them. But I'm sorry to tell you, don't be deceived. Most of those things are a cake now. This age that we are right now, you need to understand that there will be new job creations. People will lose their jobs. People will get new jobs. So that is the reason why I said you need to constantly make yourself relevant in this age and time. Because in automation, what I need to stand up to go and do, I might just need to, just share my screen with you like we are doing right now. Back in the days, we could not do all this. When Zoom started a few years ago, just before COVID, we couldn't share screen. But much later during COVID, when most people could not go to their offices and they had to work, they had to now add all these features to it. And you find out that all these features have made Zoom to be what it is today. Even Google Meet was running after Zoom at a point in time. But Google Meet too has also updated itself and know that, if I don't work on the pedestal that Zoom is working, I'll be knocked out of business. And you find out that another thing that you need to understand in the new job creation is that there will be, as in emerging roles that will come up, such fields as AI, robotics, cybersecurity, data science, data analysis, business analysis, this, that, data analysis, big data. You will hear so many big grammar. I will not lie to you. But what you need as a human being is to just have the basics. Most times, companies abroad will always train you because even your degree or certificate, they don't trust it. Let me tell you a lie. They do not trust it. They look at your degree as something that you can cram and do whatever. Then your curriculum is so archaic that what are they actually teaching you? If you come over there, they will tell you point blank, go keep your certificates and go keep your degrees. Come and do our certificate or diploma courses. Then we know how sound you are. That is what is happening now. My younger brother migrated to the UK about a few years ago. He has a BSc from University of Lagos in computer science. My brother has an MBA from Lagos Business School. Has so many other degrees, worked in several banks and also in an interswage, this, that. When he got there, I had to tell him, young man, I'll take you to go. We had dinner with somebody like a big brother of ours, and now I say, come, keep your degree. Certificates, do you have? What do you have? He said he doesn't have. Okay, I'll train you in this training. Right now, my brother is the lead for what is it called in the Bank of England. My younger brother, that's our last born. They didn't consider the degrees he brought from Nigeria. What they were considering was what? That certificate which he had from the UK. It sounds funny, but they don't trust your degree. Don't be fooled. So when you look at it, there will be so much industry growth in different places like renewable energy, IT services are expected to grow, offering new employment opportunities. So you need to get yourself prepared, except you want to remain behind and be earning your 100,000, 50,000 and the rest of them. I will shock you with something. Right now, Google employs many people. They don't consider your degrees. they consider your skills. Go and check it out. They've been doing it for as far back as 5 years ago. So if you want to remain relevant, you should understand the fact that with your degree from a Nigerian university, you need to keep yourself one. If 10 of you apply for a job with me right now, I will tell you point blank, what have you, when I look through the degrees that you brought in, I don't consider anything of first class, second class, or third class. No. I will shock you. Most times I would love to employ a third class, but a third class will always give his all in all because he wants to make sure that he doesn't lose that job because he's not sure of getting another one. That is my own style. It's funny, but I learned that a long time ago from Google, and I had to make sure that that is how life should work for me. And I found out that most of the people that have third class that I employed, I'm telling you, they give me their 110% every day, anytime. So you need to understand there will be increased efficiency and productivity in anything that is happening right now in this age of transformation that we are talking about. Technology should make your work or your business run smoothly or make the process or the flow go better and faster. It's supposed to enhance decision making and all sorts so that you don't have to sit down and do what and start thinking that, okay, I have to call this person. I have to call. With technology, you can make, with doing your analysis of the data which you have, you can make informed decision, precise decision at the flip of a finger. If you remember, for those that did MBA, if you remember, there were some case studies that we had to do then, that they said, okay, compare people that were working in Germany, Japan, Singapore, England, and different countries at that point in time. You will find out that the Japanese were doing what? They will process your thing very fast and give you fast information. The Germans will take their time. Because the Japanese had better technology than the Germans to process their information at every point in time. So for you to have enhanced decision making, you should know that for anything you are doing in this life, you allow to help you out. But before technology, you need to understand your business flow, your business processes, how your business runs first before you invite technology. If not, if you invite technology, you'll find out you will invite disaster. I'll share a funny story with you. At a point in time, the GM of the General Motors in America, they were trying to compete with what? The Japanese. When they were trying to compete with the Japanese, guess what happened? The man brought in the best set of technology and everything into GM Motors in America. That's when they started doing the Chrysler brand and all those funny brands that you will find out that there were just 2 or 3 in Nigeria at that point in time. You will see that at a point in time, the guy failed. General Motors lost billions of dollars trying to compete with what? The Japanese technology, the Nissans, the Toyota, and the Hondas, and the rest of them. But those ones were just doing what? Busy understanding their processes. Meanwhile, the man there in America thought that if he brings in technology, without even consulting his staff to know how the technology will impact the business, he failed and he was sacked. He was sacked. So technology, for me, I say it will always allow you to have, that's an automation, which is also technology anyway, allow you to have, as an able to do remote work. If not in recent times that I have to go to the office almost every day because of some 1 or 2 things I'm doing. I work most times from my bed. I won't lie to you. And if I want to have a meeting or whatever, I have a workspace just in my sitting room there that I will sit down and I would dress up. I could wear boxers, but I wear a suit and tie. That's what technology allows you to do. But the truth of the matter is that you can do your work remotely. And there are many digital tools that can help you facilitate that. But don't be deceived. There are also technologies that can monitor your workflow and work you are doing. If you don't understand that, don't think you can cheat the people that are actually employing you. Because if you try to do that, you will find out that you are going to lose at the end of the day because most MDs now know that most people that say they are working from home or whatever, more often than not, their time is always divided than the rest of them. So that also working remotely will allow you to have some form of freelance. You meet people, different people from all over the world. I've been on several platforms that I've been engaged in projects that I have maybe about 6-7 people doing that project. We've never met ourselves before. I might be in Toronto, I might be in London, I might be in Lagos, Nigeria, or even in Abuja. Some of them are in different parts. We've never met ourselves, but we all do our thing and submit our processes. And by the time the compiler will compile, and before you know what's happening, we've moved on. And we are paid what we are supposed to pay. So you find that automation currently is like changing the workspaces. And I remember I talked about something called IoT, Internet of Devices, and smart systems, which will always help you improve efficiency and employee experience. I was in a company in we call the place what's it called, Mississauga in Ontario. It's just within the same place as Toronto. I was there. I was with a friend. He owns a company. I told him, okay. He said, "Kai, come and help me look at this business plan." See. They will say they are taking things to the world. I said, "Have you heard about this? He said, "No, I've not heard about it." I said, "Okay. Go and break down your business process first," which was what he did. He now broke down the business process. That took us about a week. I now explained and modified the business process for him further down so that he understands how his business runs. If you are producing this thing, the production line is supposed to take you 10-15 minutes. After 10-15 minutes, there should be something to trigger you that something is happening there. Then those packaging and everything, if you package a whole box should tell you that in another 5 minutes, a whole box, as in a whole crate, should be ready. If it's not ready, something should trigger you. I said, then from your production base to the warehouse, how many minutes? We now checked the map of Mississauga. We looked at it. We now ran this thing for in the last 1 month. We looked at how the traffic has been. And we're able to project and say, okay, max on the average 30 minutes to the warehouse from where the factory is. So I told him your whole entire business process we're supposed to be running for less than an hour to get to the warehouse, plus or minus 30 minutes because of 1 or 2 delays, because there could be traffic and rush hours at times. We put business processes and applied internet to most of all those things. And when we did all that, guess what happened? Just truly, the business flow, he started monitoring his business flow from his office, from the comfort of his house at times. He doesn't have to run to warehouse, run to this, run to that. And you find out that it made even his blood pressure to come down. Then you see, at times in this age of transformation, you understand that ethical and social considerations need to be made, because there'll be just displacement. Enough people will be displaced. You are carrying file. You cannot be carrying only file alone. The next thing you need to do is, okay, how can we make you more useful? You cannot just be carrying, just like what happens in the Nigerian ministry. As in the ministries in Nigeria, that somebody's work is to carry file from one table to the other. For crying out loud, there are different things that can help you simplify this process, and you move on and you would you move on very fast, and they won't tell you roger me or give me this before you can do your businesses and the rest of them. So there'll be job displacement. Also, economic inequality. There's a risk of increasing economic disparity of the benefits of automation are not equally distributed, because it's when you are important to me, when you show me your value, is when I'll look at that. Come, I need to push more resources to your own side. It is normal. We're only human. There's something called what I call ethical AI, and for crying out loud, if you look at automation, it is very easy for you to understand that you can get lost, especially when you are doing the processes of automation, because as we are right now, there is something called ethical hacking. For those that have heard about it, there's hacking, normal hacking, but there's ethical hacking. I hack into your system, I play in your workplace, I'll tell you that these are the problems you have, these are the things that you need to secure for, as in using cybersecurity, so that you will know that, come, for crying out loud, you that you think you are secured, you are not secured. Then in the future of automation, there will be policies and regulation, government role. Policymakers will need to create frameworks that will support workforce transitions, such as through educational programs and social programs. I will not lie to you. For most of you that follow AI, if you understand the dangers in even understanding how AI works, you will find out that it's as if very soon computers will take over and we will now be users and will not know what is possible. That's why people are now learning machine languages. And the computers are now doing what? Going a step further to speak to themselves. Artificial intelligence speak to themselves at a realm that we, programmers or whatever, do not even understand. So if we are not careful, we will be shut out of our own system. We will be shut out of our own system. So we need to, we've already made the mistake in creating what is called AI. But now, trying to regulate the framework and the policy will be a little difficult. Look at what is happening to TikTok. Look at what is happening to Facebook and the rest of them. Court cases every day. This one is because we did not regulate these stuff. For you to regulate AI right now is almost impossible. That's why the former GM of Google, who deployed AI in the initial, has resigned from Google a long time ago. His greatest fear, if you go there, I'll try and remember his name before we head to. If you go there, you will find out that everything he's talking about is trying to tell you, you need to regulate AI. You need to regulate AI, because if you are not careful, we are going to lose at the end of the day. They are smarter than us. Then human-machine collaboration needs to be allowed. Most of us need to learn machine language so that we will not be caught unawares when these machines now start doing what, rather than we sending them errands. So right now, what we need to do is focus on our creativity, human creativity. The same way we did AI is the same way we can develop. We have developed ChatGPT and develop different other things that we are doing. So we need to understand that we need to always be a step ahead of all these systems. Right now, ChatGPT 4.0 is working, as in, it thinks like a million times faster than a human being. That is how far we have gone in this business that we're doing. So you need to focus on creativity and know how the human brain will not be able to do this. Let me know this. But you need to deploy technology, but also be able to control that technology. Understand that this is how it works. Then the global talent pool. So at the end of the day, you will find out that remote work, you can work from anywhere. By the time you are creative with yourself, you've enhanced your skills, you've made yourself constantly relevant in everything that's happening in the world, and you are always, as you have technology at your fingertips, you will find out that you can work from anywhere in the world. I've done jobs while here in Nigeria, in the UK, in different places in the world, and you will find out that my money is paid. You can't owe me. I'm a Yoruba man, and I like money. I'm sorry to say. Hope you understand. But also understand that while you are trying to develop this thing, remember that when we were doing our MBA, we were taught about what? Cultural ethics. If you remember, we were taught about cultural ethics. What obtains is not what obtains in Japan. What obtains in Japan is not what obtains in Germany. What obtains is not what obtains in the US. So you understand the fact that you must consider the culture and be flexible to adapt to each culture so that you can be able to function within their own environment. It's very important when you are talking about AI or the future of work in this, our current dispensation. I'll also tell you about technological advancements that we faced in the last few. You see that you talk about AI, machine learning, which I talked about earlier on. You see a continued advancement will drive more innovations across industries and improve efficiency and create newer business models. So you need to be flexible in such a way that whatever newer business models comes up, you're able to plug it in so that you remain relevant in even your own industry. No, BlackBerry felt that never take it out of business, or WhatsApp cannot. But right now, where is Android? Where is BlackBerry? It's long gone. At a point in time, 80% of the sector in mobile telephony was controlled by Nokia. The others were sharing the remaining 20%. Nokia refused to open up to iOS, and because they didn't open up to iOS, they went to develop their own platform. Now, most Nokia phones, Nokia has lost almost every other thing. You find phones like Tecno, Jinchen, Changpung, Chenchan, open up to tech, and those are the phones that most of us are using now, Samsung and the rest of them. But Nokia now has even less than a 1% fraction of the whole mobile telephony technology, because they were too ready to open up to new ideas. Now, also understand robots and automation. More sophisticated robots will be used in manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and other sectors. Don't be afraid. Understand that those robots and those, what's it called? Most of them that will be used is just to enhance the processes. More often than not, you will see operate the back end. So have that at the back of your mind. You should understand how to use the back end. Most businesses, all they are trying to do is what? They are trying to minimize costs, nothing more than that. So in my conclusion, I will tell you that the future of work in this age of automation presents both opportunities, challenges, and you need to embrace change. Also, investing in education and training, retraining, learning and unlearning, and fostering a culture of adaptability will be essential for all individuals, businesses, societies to drive us through this new era. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session. It's actually been very, very insightful, and thank you so much for affording us your time. I think it's high time we move over to questions. Just like I said in the beginning during the housekeeping session, if you have questions, please kindly indicate, and I'm going to give you the microphone for you to voice your questions. I think one of the major concerns so far in this, should I say, commercialization of artificial intelligence is the concern and worry that AI is, of course, going to take over, most of all these mundane tasks, right? How I think you've spoken about it, but probably in a granular baby step, how would you advise, for professionals right now to stay relevant in the face of automation?
Okay, thank you for that question. I spoke about something about training, retraining, unlearning and learning. I said back in the days, people that do all those mundane tasks, there were times that we were using typewriters, that if you make a mistake, you have to retype the whole document again. Then suddenly your computer came and Microsoft came into being, that you can just backspace and you clean off that part of it, or you highlight and you press and you delete. I will shock you. The first set of Microsoft Word didn't have most of all the things you see right now that you can do with your Microsoft Office. So it tells you that people are constantly thinking. People are constantly engaging their thoughts. People are constantly trying to make themselves relevant. If somebody else had come after Microsoft and given us something that we could do, that, okay, maybe you just post a digital, as in just pick up a digital page of something and just post it on this thing, and it turns it into, what is it called? A Microsoft Word document. If somebody else has given us, Microsoft might have been irrelevant today. So it's about you making sure that you are aware of what you are doing. Understand the process of what you are doing. Mundane tasks that you said before. For anybody that is going to build an app for you to transmit a document from one place to the other, must understand how documents are being transferred from one place to the other manually. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. You understand how to transfer it manually. So when you understand how to transfer it manually, it will be easy for you to adapt to the technology which is coming. So make sure you avail yourself of such technology so that you will still remain relevant. I hope I'm making some little sense.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I'm very much on point. I mean, in the face of automation and the ever-changing landscape, there is need for us to unlearn and relearn to stay adaptive. I mean, we humans, upper species, we are adaptive species. And of course, we cannot afford to remain stagnant when the world around us is evolving. So ultimately, yes, we need to constantly relearn and even unlearn some of the old ways and relearn the new ones. So I think I get you. I get you perfectly. Thank you very much, sir, for that one. What will be your take, on trying to get your company or your operations or your system, into this whole automation? Yes, right? Automated, right? Exactly.
First things first. If you remember vividly when I said, while I was in Lagos Business School, I was teaching people about using small technology for small businesses. More often than not, many people do not even understand their business process. They just hear that there's a technology today and they want to go and buy that technology because it's the latest one in town. A small business does not need Sage. A small business that understands how to use Excel spreadsheets is much better and much safer and with less or little or no headaches. So you need to understand first your business process. And when you understand your business process, you know the type of technology that you need to. But while you are trying to understand the business process and trying to source for the technology, you should make sure that your staff, you carry them along in that process of training them, retraining them, so that they understand that, this technology is not coming to take your job, it's coming to make your flow or your business process more efficient. More efficient. So if you understand that, because we are human beings and we always have the first thing that happens to most of us is we try to resist any new thing. Then much later, we will now start opening up little by little. Then when we now understand, this thing would have helped me, I should have learned this thing a long time ago. But it's never too late to learn. Always be receptive. But while you are trying to do your automation or introduce new technologies into your business, make sure you carry the members of your staff along. It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that. I think that perfectly summarizes it for me. And I like the way you went ahead and broke it down. So thank you so very much. I mean, there's been a lot of rise in automation, of course. How do you see the rise of automation necessitating changes, of course, in our educational system? Right. I mean, because just when ChatGPT became common knowledge, I think a lot of writers, I'll narrow it down, a lot of writers lost their jobs, right? A lot of people at the same time also lost their ability to critically think. So they now substitute, or did I say outsource their thinking to AI. So how would the rise of automation necessitate these changes in our education system to prepare the future generations for the workforce? Because right now, everything is just available on ChatGPT.
Let me take you a little bit back.
Okay.
When back in the days when we were writing projects, we used to visit libraries, right?
Absolutely.
But now, much later, Google came up. But most people don't understand the fact that it's what you and I feed Google that Google brings back to us.
Yes.
That's what is called metadata.
Yes.
That's what is called metadata. Google did not come to Nigeria to come and do your maps, those your street maps and the rest of them. It's what you fed Google with. I'm here, I'm there, I'm driving from Victoria Island to Ikoyi, and I'm passing through this road. That's what Google used to develop what you have as Google Maps now. It's what you feed your AI that it works with. Although as you feed it, it now starts to like look all around the internet to do what? To get more information about what you have fed it with. That's how this thing works. It's definitely, I wouldn't lie to you, it's gonna make many people much lazier. But I'll tell you, critical thinkers will not still reduce, because you will understand the fact that as a critical thinker, your idea will always be genuine and will always be brand new. I remember back in the days when I was in University of Lagos, when I did my project for my BSc, that was at about the time that they were introducing what do you call this tracking systems for these mobile operators in Nigeria, this MTN and the rest of them in Nigeria. I presented a project there for tracking systems, and that was as far back as 2000 and 2001. They said it can't work in Nigeria. Its tracking system not working in Nigeria now. I was able to think far ahead because of the kind of researches and the kind of people I had met along the course of my life. But even MTN, when they came here, they said it could not work in Nigeria. By the end of the day, this thing is working now. They are making so much money on tracking people's cars, tracking this, tracking that, and the rest of them. So whenever you have an idea, it will always be novel. It will always be genuine. It's only you that will understand your idea. But if you are using AI to generate your ideas, you could be flawed easily. If you look at most times when we were doing the MBA, then there were that as the same way that they've created ChatGPT to do most of the work for you, is the same way that some people, ethical hackers, have also created apps that will tell whoever is marking that thing that it was done through AI. The same people that are building the hacks or the cheat modes are also the people creating the counter cheat modes. It will always be like that. People that will create the virus also create the antivirus. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. I think we have a question now, so I'm going to hand over to Sophia Dabiri. So please kindly unmute yourself and go ahead with the question, Sophia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaya Day, for your presentation. It's been very insightful, and I believe that I have picked up a lot. But I have a question, right? I know, like, the bane of this whole conversation has essentially been around AI and automation and all of that. And AI has always been, like, since the onset of like AI, or since it became a thing so popular, it's always been that back and forth of like, oh, AI is going to take jobs and everything. While I believe that of course we cannot necessarily match up to the way AI is able to automate things, able to think and all of those things, I believe that people are still the ones that would use this AI to deliver on tools. Now, it brings me to my question, right? The normal back and forth questions is always like, oh, AI is going to take up all of the jobs. Well, I do believe that some jobs would become mundane. I feel like there are some certain things that, for instance, now AI lacks certain emotional intelligence in a lot of things. I believe that there are still some certain fields that might be a bit rigid, right, for AI to completely overturn. So do you think that there are actually aspects of things that AI might not be able to completely overturn because it lacks certain I mean, if AI has like emotional intelligence now, that would be a problem, right? Some people would say, oh, it does have a little, but I do not think it can be as completely as a human, right? I still, like, some people would argue that, oh, AI can have like emotional intelligence and all of those stuff, but I still think that it cannot be like 101%. So I want to get your own thoughts on if there are like some places that cannot be completely covered by AI, and what those things are, right? And what you think about it.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I'll tell you something. They're already working on AI having emotional intelligence. I'm telling you the truth. We have actually created a monster. Now we are now thinking of how to tame it. But we've created the monster already. We did not think of how to tame what we're creating first before creating the monster. The same thing that happened to most of all these apps that most of our kids or the young ones get locked into, and there's so much dark things on the web. Have that at the back of your mind. But I'll tell you something. For emotional intelligence, it's already in the offering. Don't worry. I can assure you that. But you at the back end as a human being, like you said, we that AI, what they do. And when we feed AI what they do, AI will now on its own, because of the intelligence, we say it's artificial intelligence, you have fed it with something. It will now go run around everybody that has had one or two contributions in that particular sphere that you asked it to do. It will now synthesize it. Don't be shocked that AI also goes to the dark web. The same way that some of us will still go to the dark web to go and get some one or two things there that help us to work. AI too will go to the dark web. It will go to Google Incognito and go and search for things there. And while there, it brings everything together and presents to you. So you are the one feeding it. And as you are feeding it, it is growing. As it is growing, it is getting smarter than you. You are as a human being, you think you love you. We've already started training what's it called? Robots to do what human beings are doing. Even to the one that we should not mention. There are different types of instruments that have been created now that even most people would not even want to love a human being. They rather want to love, because the love that the robot is giving you is unconditional. And we as human beings are actually selfish. We want unconditional love. So if you understand that it is we that are created a monster, we are now trying to tame it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. Do we still have any further questions? But I think I have a question. In answering this previous question, I think something came to mind. So let me go ahead. So when you were speaking, you made mention of the rate at which AI is growing and may even become a lot more smarter than us. That is actually true because they are working on, of course, emotions for AI right now. And so that brings me to the big question that everybody has been wanting to know, the grave concern, right? Man versus machine. Man versus machine. What do you think the future holds? Do you think that there's a very high prospect, just like what you said, you've created a monster, you just have to tame it now that it's left? Do you think that it's very foreseeable or in the near future that the possibility, even the slightest possibility, of AI, or should I say machines, turning against man?
For me, there's nothing that is impossible. It's about how, as in the ethics, that we need to have ethics created around artificial intelligence, which is what most people that we call ourselves ethical AI enthusiasts are now fighting for. We need to create proper ethics around it, because the same way I can ask AI that, how do I fly a plane and not land? And it will teach me how to do it. Is the same way that you will find out that somebody will ask AI to, how can I fly a plane and land? It gets to show you that somebody must have fed the internet a while back, maybe a video or a YouTube video or something, and teaching AI how to fly a plane and not land. So AI will go and search for all those things and it will bring it back to you. So it's now about that emotional intelligence is what we need to work on. And in working on it, it has to be in such a way that if you I don't know whether you've used ChatGPT 4.0 before. If you've tried using it, there are some questions you ask that it will not answer you.
Yes.
It's part of the ethics that they are trying to build into AI now, so that we don't create a monster that will destroy us at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, we are having a fireside chat session with Surveyor Adila Kayode Oladimeji on the future of work in the age of automation. We've had a very fantastic presentation and insight from him, and we are wrapping up this session right now.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you
We'll
so
get
much.
to meet again. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for participating in this. God bless you. Have a beautiful evening, depending on wherever you are, or a beautiful afternoon. Cheers.